The night sky is lying to you. If the universe is infinite, filled with stars, and billions of years old, the sky should not be dark. It should be white hot, blinding in every direction. But it isn't. It's quiet, mostly empty, and that silence is a problem. This isn't poetry, it's physics. If stars had always existed and space went on forever, their light would stack. Distance wouldn't save the darkness. Every patch of sky, no matter how small, would end on a star. So why don't we see that? Because the universe has a birthday. Light takes time, and the universe hasn't existed long enough for all of that light to arrive. Look up at the darkest part of the sky, the place where you think there's nothing. There are galaxies out there whose light simply hasn't reached you yet. Not because they're gone, because reality has a speed limit. Darkness isn't empty, it's unfinished. But that's only half the story. Space itself is stretching. Galaxies are not just sitting there, they're running away from you. The farther they are, the faster they run. Their light stretches with them. Waves that started out blue, white, and violent are pulled longer, softer, colder. What should have been a bright sky full of stars gets red shifted out of your vision. To your eyes, that looks like nothing. To the universe, it's a sky that's still glowing, just in a color you can't see. We grow up thinking dark means empty. Astronomers found out it actually means something else. You're not built to see what's really there. The quiet sky above you is not proof of silence. It's proof that the universe is younger than it looks and stranger than your eyes can handle. The sky was never truly dark. It used to be on fire. In the very early universe, there was no night and day, just a hot, glowing plasma, light trapped inside a fog of particles. The whole universe was brighter than the surface of a star. Then, as space expanded, it cooled. Atoms formed, and for the first time, light was free to move. That first light is still here. It never stopped traveling. It just got stretched, longer, colder, quieter. Today, we call it the cosmic microwave background, a faint radio glow filling every direction in the sky. You can't see it with your eyes, but if your vision could tune into microwaves, the sky wouldn't look black at all. It would look like static, like noise on an old TV. That noise is the afterimage of the entire universe turning transparent. Right now, in your room, in the space between you and this screen, that ancient light is passing through you. You're sitting in the faded echo of the Big Bang. So why does it feel so quiet? Because your brain was never designed to notice it. Your eyes see a tiny slice of reality, a narrow band of colors that happen to be useful for not walking into trees. Outside that band, infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, microwaves, the universe is screaming with light you'll never naturally see. To you, the sky looks empty. To a radio telescope, it looks like a memory. That's the real punchline of the dark night. You go outside, look up, and think you're staring into nothing. But the darkness over your head is evidence that the universe had a beginning. Stars haven't been burning forever. And space itself is stretching things out of your vision. The silence you feel is not the universe being empty. It's you standing in the wrong frequency range. One day, far in the future, galaxies will be so far apart that their light can't reach each other. Future astronomers looking up at the sky might see almost nothing. No clear trace of the Big Bang, no obvious expansion, just a lonely little island of stars at a lot of dark. They'll think that's normal. You, right now,
are living in the rare moment when the universe still tells you its story, if you know how to listen. So the next time you step outside at night and see that quiet black sky, remember, it isn't truly quiet and it isn't truly black. It's the faded glow of a beginning you never saw and the foreshadowing of an ending you won't be here for. In between those two extremes, in a tiny window where the sky is dark enough to feel empty but bright enough to decode, you showed up. The universe did not go quiet. It just shifted its voice outside your hearing. And you, with your small human eyes and your oversized curiosity, are spending your brief, impossible life trying to translate the silence.
And here's the part most people never think about. You don't just live under this quiet sky. You are part of the reason it isn't wasted. For billions of years, the universe expanded in silence. No eyes, no questions, no one to notice the difference between light and dark. Then, on one small planet, chemistry accidentally learned how to wonder. Stars were burning long before you. The cosmic background was glowing long before you. Expansion was stretching light long before you. But meaning, that only arrived when something inside the universe started asking, why is the sky dark? That something is you, and people like you, lying awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, replaying tiny problems in a universe that is still humming with the afterglow of creation. From the outside, you look small, one brain, on one planet, in one galaxy. From the inside, you are huge, an entire cosmos of memory, fear, hope, and imagination, compressing millions of years of physics into a single thought. What is all this? The night sky feels silent, but listen closely. Streetlights humming, servers buzzing in data centers, radio antennas whispering to space, telescopes collecting ancient photons and turning them into images on your screen. The universe isn't just expanding, it's remembering itself through you. One day, the sky may get even quieter. Galaxies will slip beyond visibility. The background glow will fade. But right now, in this very thin slice of time, you are alive in a universe that still leaves clues lying around in the dark. So the next time you walk home at night, headphones in, city noise in the background, and you glance up at that almost empty sky, remember, it's not just a black backdrop behind your life. It's a solved riddle, a running experiment, and a very old echo that somehow lines up perfectly with the brief moment where you exist to notice it. The sky is not truly quiet. It's just speaking softly, and for a little while, you get to be the one who hears it.